So we're in sunny Algarrobo, Spain, and we're going to take a look at this. This is an anamorphic lens for your smartphone. Alright, let me explain to you what's going on. So, huge shout out to SANDMARC for sending over one of their anamorphic lenses for smartphones. Now they sent it over, no strings attached, they just wanted to know my opinion on the product, so that's what we're doing in this video. Now to kick things off, let's talk about what is an anamorphic lens. Now if you watched any movies or any content creators here on YouTube, you've probably seen these black bars on top and bottom of their footage. Now these black bars are pretty much become synonymous with this cinematic film look, and that's the look that you're getting with an anamorphic lens. So here's the thing, most of the footage that you see here on YouTube most likely is just regular footage with black bars on top and bottom, but real anamorphic footage is created differently. With a real anamorphic lens, you have something that is called a squeeze. So basically what it does is that you take a wider aspect ratio of footage and you squeeze it into a smaller aspect ratio sensor. So what you end up with is a squeezed footage. So then in post-production you de-squeeze the footage, but you still use the wide aspect ratio footage on a smaller aspect ratio screen. I tried to explain it as good as I could. If you just take regular footage, you're actually cutting off pieces of your clips, you're actually covering up pieces of your image. But with real anamorphic, that's not the case. You're actually getting the full image, and because it's actually squeezed and it's a wider aspect ratio, you're getting even more footage on the sides of the clip. So that's just one characteristic of an anamorphic lens. The second one is these lines and oval shaped bokeh. So the footage that you get looks different and is actually produced different. Now the only downside of using an anamorphic lens is to the workflow, because when you film the video you end up with a squeezed video that you need to de-squeeze in post-production, but that's just one step. It's really not that big of a deal. It's just not as straightforward as putting on the lens and filming. Unless you use SANDMARC's suggestion and use Filmic Pro app, so if you use this app you can just straight away de-squeeze the footage as you're saving it to your smartphone when you're filming. I'm not going to do that though, because I'm using Premiere Pro and I'm just going to de-squeeze it there, and I'm going to show you how to do that at the end of the video. Now the thing that you need to know about anamorphic lenses is that these things usually are crazy expensive. If you're looking for an anamorphic lens for a professional camera, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. But the interesting thing is that now with more people getting into content creation, with cameras getting better and more accessible to the general population, these high-end pieces of glass, this technology, if you will, is slowly trickling down to the more affordable consumer market. So now you're seeing way more affordable anamorphic lenses for your mirrorless cameras and anamorphic lenses for your smartphone, which are very reasonably priced, giving on what you're actually getting for the money. So talking about that, what do you get for your money with this anamorphic lens? So SANDMARC includes a phone case, you're getting a carrying pouch, a clip to clip the lens on to different smartphones, and you're getting the lens itself. The lens itself, it's fully metal built, it feels really solid, it feels really premium, super easy to use. I'm going to talk about that in a minute as well. But the thing that I want to talk about are the cases, because you're going to be using the case arguably more than you're going to be using the lens. Well, in my case, I'm just carrying my phone in the case around all the time, and when I want to, I just pop on the lens and film. So the case included in the box is a decent case. It's a plastic case, you get the metal lens mount. It's an overall good case. But in my opinion, I would suggest that you go with the Pro case. That's what SANDMARC sent over to me as well. And that's what I'm actually using as my daily case. I've been carrying on my phone in this case for the past couple of weeks, and I've been loving this case. So this case feels a bit more premium. It feels more like the original Apple leather cases, which actually you can get the same Pro case just wrapped in leather, and I would assume that would feel even more closer to the original Apple cases, which is a good thing. So you have these really pronounced buttons on the side for your volume and on and off switch. Super easy to find, super tactile, feels really good in the hand. The case is MagSafe supported, so you can use MagSafe on it. There is a magnet inside of this case. You have the same metal backplate for your lens mount, and another thing that I really love, but that's just my personal preference, is that these cases have an open bottom design. So basically what it means that whenever I'm using reachability, and I'm doing it a lot because I'm using a 12 Pro Max, which is a fairly large phone, my thumb doesn't bump against the case, which tends to be really annoying. So that's a feature I love as well. And another interesting fact is that on their website, and you can see it here, is that it's listed that it's wrist wrap compatible. It's just really interesting for me to see something like a wrist wrap support on a phone case. So anyways, enough of this. Let's wait for the sunset and go outside and get some shots actually, shall we? So mounting the lens is super simple. You have a threaded screw mount, so all you do is just pop it on, screw it in place. Make sure these two lines are parallel to each other and you're good to go. Alright, so the footage with this lens just looks absolutely beautiful. Combined with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, I mean, the videos just look awesome. I really do enjoy using this lens, but there are a couple of things I have to point out. So first of all, you are able to use this lens, in this particular case with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, on the telephoto lens. However, I had some issues with focusing. So for some reason, I just couldn't get the camera to focus properly, and it was always slightly out of focus. Not a huge issue for me because I'm not planning to use this lens with the telephoto lens on my phone, but if you're planning to do so, just something to keep in mind. Not really sure what's going on there. And the second thing is, outsides of the video, not the outsides, but the outer parts of the video that you get when using this lens are kind of blurry. Now, I'm not saying it's an issue with the lens because I took a look at some videos where other guys were reviewing the same lens, and it didn't look like they had the same issue that I did. So perhaps it's just my user error, maybe it's just the lens that I got, I'm not really sure. I'm just telling you what I've noticed. Anyways, last thing we need to do is how to unsqueeze this footage in Premiere Pro. Well, it is super simple to unsqueeze the footage, just import it into Premiere Pro. Don't put it on the timeline yet. Right click on the footage, go to Modify, Interpret Footage, and then go down to Pixel Aspect Ratio, and then go to Confirm to HD Anamorphic 1080 1.33. Because we're using a 1.33 squeeze lens, we need to use this one. And from here, you're pretty much good to go. Just drag the video into your timeline. The last thing you will need to do is go into Effects and then go to Scale and scale it down to 75%. And then you're gonna get the black bars on top and bottom, and you're going to have the whole video into your 16:9 aspect ratio video. And that's pretty much all from my part. I hope you did enjoy this video. I hope you found it informative, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.